So we're going to start at number 1. Decide whether enough information is given to prove the triangles are congruent by SAS congruence theorem. But we don't call it SAS. What does it stand for? Side angle side. Where does the angle have to be? In between the two sides. So on our first question, okay, what do we have marked congruent? We got a side. Ooh, that's not going to show up. We got a side congruent to a side. What else do we have? Angle congruent to an angle. Then we have side congruent to a side. Now for side angle side, where does the angle have to be?
In the middle.
In the middle between the two sides. So is our angle in the middle touching both of the sides?
Yes.
Yes, so this is side angle side. Number 2, what do we have marked congruent?
The base and
We got a side marked congruent to a side. What else do we have?
just the side.
Another side. And then it's understood vertical angles. So we have two sides and an angle. Is this angle, angle A, is it in between both sides? Is it touching both sides? No. So is this side angle side? No. Questions about 1 and 2? There's no number 3 on this worksheet for whatever reason. Decide whether there's enough information to prove using side, 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 or hypotenuse, leg. Let's talk about hypotenuse, leg. What kind of triangle do you see with hypotenuse, leg?
Right.
A right triangle. And where's the hypotenuse always located? Opposite side of the right angle. And then how many legs are there in a right triangle? There are 2 of them. The remaining sides are called legs. So you just need a hypotenuse and a leg, marked congruent to a hypotenuse and a leg. So in the first question, are these right triangles?
No. Yep.
No. There's no right angle, so we don't know. But we have a side, marked congruent to a side. What else do we have? Side congruent to a side, and then anything else?
2 more sides.
We got one more thing. It's understood.
Another side.
The side they share, right? A side is congruent to itself. That's the reflexive property. So, are these 2 congruent by side, 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 or hypotenuse, leg? Yes, by side, side, side. Number 5, we have a right triangle. We want to ask, is this hypotenuse, leg? Is the hypotenuse marked congruent on my first triangle? No. This is my hypotenuse. Is there any tick mark on it? There is not. So it's definitely not hypotenuse, leg. Is it side, side, side?
No.
No, why not?
Because there's an angle and there's no extra side.
Yeah, there's the third side isn't congruent to the third side. So this is neither of those. Is it side angle side?
Wait, yeah.
No.
Yes,
Is it?
No, it's not.
No.
Do they match?
No.
No. So the angle is between the sides on the first triangle, but is the angle between the sides on the second triangle? No. No. Also, just use your eyes. We're trying to figure out if they're congruent. What does congruent mean? The same measurement, right? Do they look like they have the same triangle twice?
No.
They're not. One is smaller than the other. They're not congruent. Number 6, we have right triangles again. Are the hypotenuses marked congruent or just congruent? Yes. Where are the hypotenuses?
And the slash mark.
It's in the middle, right? So because they share that side, it's congruent to itself. So their hypotenuses are congruent. And then, do they have a leg congruent to a leg?
Yes.
Yes. A leg is any other side. So is this hypotenuse leg? Yes. This next section, we're just deciding if they're congruent. There are 5 theorems. We have so far talked about, what do we have? We had side, 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 hypotenuse, leg. What was another one we talked about? Side angle, side. So the only 2 that we haven't talked about, what were they called? We got angle, side, angle, which means you have 2 angles and a side marked congruent. Where does the side have to be for angle, side, angle? In between them. It has to be touching both angles. And then what was the other one? Very similar. Angle, angle, side. Where does the side have to be? Yeah, not in between the angles. So across from one of them, it could look like this, or it could look like this. So there's two options for this type of picture. But so those are the 5 theorems we're going to use, because those are the only 5 that exist. So in number 7, what do we have marked congruent?
Side.
We got a side, congruent to a side, yep. What else do we have?
Angles.
Angles. So we want to decide, is it angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side? Angle, angle, side. And you can know because is this side touching both of the angles? Is it?
Wait, oh,
No, it's not in between them. That angle, side, angle is when the side's in between. Angle, angle, side, the side will be across from an angle. Number 8, we got 2 sides and an angle. We want to decide, is it side, angle, side? Is my angle between my 2 sides?
Yes. Or on the second one.
On the second one it is, but on the
No.
first one, is it? No. So it has to be on both. So it's not side, angle, side. It's not any of the others either. We don't have 3 sides congruent. We don't have a right triangle, so it's not hypotenuse leg. It's not side, angle, side. We don't have congruent angles. So this one is just a no. Is it congruent? No. Number 9. There's a lot going on. In all of these theorems, you got side, side, side. How many pieces of information do you have in side, side, side? 3, right? In hypotenuse leg, it seems like you have 2, but what's the third piece of information in hypotenuse leg? So you got a hypotenuse, a leg, and a right angle, right? That's 3 things. Side, angle, side, you have 3 things. Angle, side, angle, you have 3 things. Why are you saying this, Miss Marshall? How much do we have in each of these triangles on number 9? 4 things. So you got a lot of things going on, which means we have more than one theorem that we could use. So do we see one of our theorems that we could use to prove the triangles are congruent? We got angle, side, angle for sure. That is one of them. Yes. We're going to write all of them. Go ahead and write angle, side, angle first. I'm going to color code them. Makes it a little easier. So we have angle, side, angle. We definitely have also side, angle, side. And then there's one more.
Angle, angle, side?
Correct. Angle, angle, and then the side across from it. So in all 3 of these, you used 3 pieces of information and ignored the 4th. You won't have one like this on your quiz, I'm going to tell you right now. Just so you know. You will not. 2 angles and a side across. That's angle, angle, side. If you ignore this piece of information, it's angle, angle, side. If you ignore this piece of information, you have angle, side, angle. If you ignore this one, you got side, angle, side.
Will there be anything like this on the question?
He just said.
I wasn't paying attention. It's not obvious. I made it.
For you, there will be a question just like this. Just kidding. This is an honors question. We're going to skip it. Next page. All right, so on this first one, it looks like you got 4 pieces of information again. I'm going to tell you don't. Which of these is not, relevant? One of these is not helpful to us.
14 is.
We're on number 11.
Oh, it's the,
the
it's
angle.
the arc angle.
Nope, that's helpful to me.
The
The right angle?
It's one of the sides.
It's the side with the 2 things.
Correct. Here's why. These 2 are irrelevant because is it the full length of the triangle side? Meh. So we're just going to ignore that one. But what we can use, we do have an angle that's important. What else do we have? We got a side, and then what else do we have? Right angle. So we have 2 angles and a side. So is it angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side? Angle, angle, side, because the side is across from an angle, not between them. So this is angle, angle, side. Number 12, what do we have that is congruent?
Sides.
We got sides. What else do we have?
I mean, the side in the middle.
The side they share, and then an angle. So in order for it to be side angle side, we need the angle between the two sides. Is the angle in between the two sides? It is not. So this is a no. None of the others would fit this description. 13, what kind of triangle do we have going on here? Right triangle. Are they both right triangles? Yes. How do I know? Vertical angles. So when it's a right triangle, what do you always want to ask yourself? Is a hypotenuse leg. So is the hypotenuse marked congruent to a hypotenuse? Yes. The one with 2, that's the hypotenuse. And then is a leg, aka another side, congruent to another leg? Yes. So is this hypotenuse leg? Yes. $14, we again have how many pieces of information? 4. So we got a couple things that we see in this picture. What is one of them? We got a hypotenuse congruent to a hypotenuse. That's correct. What else do we have?
We have leg.
A leg congruent to a leg. So we definitely have hypotenuse leg. That's actually the hardest one to see. What is another one we have? Another theorem. We got side angle side. So side angle side. And then there's one more. Side side angle backwards, both a bad word. Side side side. So you got a side, and the third side. They're all 3 congruent. So side 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 is also there. This next one is easier if you kind of take them apart. So I'm going to copy one of them and then move it. So bring that guy down there, and then we got this one left. Is everyone okay with the way I took them apart? Okay. I literally copied it and then dragged it down. So what do we have marked congruent in both of the triangles? We got 2 angles, right? Congruent to 2 angles. There is one more thing, and it's something they share.
The vertical angles.
No, because they share this side, don't they? Both of them. So they got 2 angles and a side. So is it angle side angle or angle angle side? I heard 2 different things. Is this side touching both of the angles? No, it's across from them. So this is angle angle side. You're what? We good? Promise the ones on the quiz are just, do you know what you're doing? They're not like that difficult. Promise. 16. What do we think? We got 2 angles and a side. Angle side angle. Notice how the side is between the 2 angles. It's on the same side as the 2 angles. That is angle side angle. We got 3 more and then we are done. 17. Both of them have 2 angles and a side, right? Yes, but no. The sides are not in the same spot, but also, how many arcs do these 2 have? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. One has 1 and one has 3. These 2 match perfectly, but the other ones don't. So this is kind of like a trick question. It is none of the above. It's no. Number 18, what do we have marked congruent? We got angles, and then where's that side? In the middle, the one they share. So is it angle side angle or angle angle side? Angle side angle. The angle is touching both of the, the sides are touching both the angles. And then number 19, we see a right angle. So before, we had 2 right triangles. One of them was marked a right triangle. How did I know the other one was also a right triangle? Vertical angles are congruent, right? Do we have anything like that showing that this angle is a right angle? No. So we're just going to ignore the angle because we don't know if the other one, we don't know about that. But what do we know about these 2 triangles? They got sides that are congruent, right? Do they have anything else? The side in the middle. So how are these two triangles congruent for sure?
Side,
Side, side, side.